Welcome to the Lap of Luxury. I'm Alison Morris. This week, Dom Pierre comes to Gramercy Park in New York to show us their extraordinary P2 champagne.
Dom Pérignon was a monk, was a Benedictine monk, and he's known as the father of champagne, as he transformed everything.
It's a history dating back nearly 350 years. Dom Pierre Pérignon, who was born and died the same year as Louis XIV, developed champagne so extraordinary it was served in the court of the Sun King.
Through his vision, he decided to import different techniques like the pressing. He had this fantastic idea to start to blend different grape varieties and to start to put his wine in bottle, because in those times they were using wooden cask. They were selling wine in wooden cask. And through these three main directions, pressing, blending, and maturating in the bottle, he really, pushed the champagne production into, the production of bubbles, sparkling champagne.
Today, Dom Pierre produces 3 different types of wines: vintage, rosé, and plenitude. On that same property, 40 minutes northeast of Paris, in Champagne, which is also the name of the region.
Dom Perignon, we are only using Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, so 2 grape varieties, and which are located in two regions in that Champagne, which are Montagne de Reims, the Reims Hill for the Pinot Noir, and the Côte des Blancs, which is really the best place for the Chardonnay. Dom Perignon is a little bit apart, in Champagne, as we are only raising vintage.
That means all the grapes must come from the same year.
It is a risk we take. The risk we take not to produce and then just to say no in some years where we have the deeper intuition that we will not be able to produce and to achieve the quality we want.
The last decade was one of their finest.
I compare it to the 60s, which was fantastic at Dom Perignon. And in 2000 we produced 2002, 2003, 2004, we released 2005, 2006, so 5 vintages in a row, which was the first time in the history of Dom Perignon.
This spring, Dom Pierre released its P2 Vintage 2000, the second release from that year.
Dom Perignon never released a vintage before a minimum of 8-9 years. But 8-9 years is what we call a first release, a first plenitude. And we can go further than that, as we are releasing a Plenitude 2, which is released around 16, 17, sometimes 20 years of maturation in the bottle.
That maturation so extraordinary, the ROBB report singled out the $400 bottle as one of the best white wines in the world.
We were very fortunate that we were able to get our hands and taste the P2 2000 release for our Best of the Best June issue. It is truly magnificent.
Tasting is in the center of what we do. We are not using a traditional champagne flute.
Yes.
Because when it comes to Dom Perignon, we need a wider glass to let Dom Perignon release, its layers of aromas, of texture, of savor. It needs room, it needs, air, to develop its personality. Alison.
Santé.
Santé. Caress.
It is so elegant. You feel the bubble at first and then it just...
The bubbles are,
It's almost like an ocean wave.
Yeah.
You get the intensity and it just goes out.
Exactly. 16 years in the bottle, so the bubbles has been, progressively transforming into a very smooth, creamy sensation.
Excellent. Thanks so much for drinking Dom Perignon with us. I'm Alison Morris. I'll see you next time on the Lap of Luxury.